Hello everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the County Seat. We are on location this week in Morgan County at the County Council Chambers to talk about a very exciting development. Morgan County has recently been recognized as number 5 in the country and number 1 in the state of Utah for places with the most incoming investments. So this is a community that is in motion. It's got a lot of momentum building up. And we want to be discussing what's happening in the community. It's kind of a primer or kind of an examination of what the elements are that takes a community that's lying very sleepy for a number of years and turns the engine on. And that's actually a really good metaphor to use in this particular case, because we're going to look at some of the businesses in the community and the impacts they have. And we are going to start with the Young Automotive Group.
The great-grandfather, Jack Olson, this is where he started right here in Morgan in 1925 in the Valley. And we had an opportunity about 7 years ago to come back to Morgan County with the Young Automotive Group. They want us not only to be in the community, but also be a part of the community.
The Young Drive for Your Schools program has been a great fundraiser for the district. They will rotate amongst the schools. They'll bring new cars over to the school and have test drive where parents and community members can come and test drive the cars, and then they contribute to the district a dollar amount for every test drive. It's been a fundraiser that's allowed the schools to have money directly in the classrooms that the teachers can use without it going through something they have to get approval for.
We hold all of the chamber meetings monthly here at the dealership. We did buy the lunch just to encourage people to come. And we've continued that over the last 3 years, and our attendance has been very well. One thing that's helped us over the last 3 years, if you go back in 2016, we did about $66 million in sales, and for 2019, we should end up right around $180 million in net sales. I attribute that to the engagement in the county and the support that we've had, not only for our business, but the other businesses around in the community.
Welcome back to the County Seat. We are discussing an anatomy or a case study of a county that has seen great strides in economic growth. Joining us for our conversation here in Morgan County is Andrew Willis, who is the Director of Small Business Development at the Business Resource Center here in Morgan County. Also, we have Gavin McCleary, who is the President of the Morgan Area Chamber of Commerce. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Good to be here.
So with the news of how much recognition Morgan County has received for the amount of growth that they have managed to accomplish in the last couple of years, one would lead to the question, the heart of business development is the chamber. How different does the chamber look now than it did, say, 4 or 5 years ago?
I think back to that time, and of course there was a chamber that existed, but maybe just a little less active. We'd gather every now and again at a table of a few people that were wanting to get involved. Today it looks a little bit different. We have a monthly meeting, and there's usually 40 to 50 active businesses that participate in those meetings and contributing to what we're doing. We've got a passionate population that's excited about their own businesses, and I think that's playing off to others. It's exciting others and more wanting to get involved and participate as well.
And there were several things that happened at that time when the chamber first started. The Governor's Office of Economic Development initiated what's called the Barre Program, where that helped to fund us in going out into the Morgan County and locating all of the businesses that were there. Outside of the county records on business licenses and the city records, we had no way of knowing where all the businesses were. And it was exciting to be able to go out and meet one-on-one with those businesses. The businesses in Morgan County that provided the nucleus to the chamber then are the same ones that provide the nucleus now. As Gavin mentioned, the chamber has just grown incredibly in size.
Does this bring some innovative thought to business in the business community?
Here within the county, I find everybody supportive of one another. We want to see that each other succeed. It's when a new business comes around and they learn that there's a gathering place or that activity is occurring. When they show up, they're welcomed and people are curious to know what they're doing and look for ways to assist them and build synergies within the county and to help their businesses succeed.
And they share ideas with each other. I mean, Gavin does something where he spotlights a business every month. And it's interesting to see how at those chamber meetings they engage with each other. They share tips. These are things to watch out for. These are things that I found to be successful.
Have you actually had within the county people change how they're doing business because they used to export, they found somebody local, and they've brought their business relationships closer to home?
I really have seen more businesses in Morgan County doing business with other businesses in Morgan County, because there wasn't the vehicle before, so that they knew each other and they could meet with each other. One thing that's interesting about the businesses in the chamber, there are businesses in the chamber that do business internationally. And so they have a very large market that they do business with. A lot of them do a small amount of business in Morgan County, but a lot across the nation and internationally. But those who do serve businesses here, now, if they have the opportunity, they'll do businesses with local companies.
When you have these businesses coming in and they move in or they make a commitment, all of a sudden they become self-aware of the unique and positive nature of Morgan County. Do they become a tool to the chamber to actually help or to the Business Resource Center to bring new people in?
Absolutely. That excitement is contagious. People sense it. They want to be a part of it. And they get involved. Beyond meeting as businesses, we get involved with the community and hold quarterly events. So we try to embrace as many people as possible. And that positive momentum it's contagious. People like to be a part of it.
And I know we have to excuse you because you have to go recruit a business into the county. So well, stay with us. We'll be back with more of County Seat here in Morgan County. We are going to take a quick commercial break, but first we want to take you to another profile of another business. Now, this is a company that grew up in Morgan County and actually had a chance to, it was sold, but they decided to keep it here, and it's had an impact on the community. We'll take a look at that right now.
One of the worst things about riding transit is not knowing where the bus is. And so we worked on a system that allows the riders to see where that vehicle is in real time. Going to school up at Utah State, I was able to drive a bus around campus and got a little bored, and I was trying to figure out how I could take technology and make that job better. I had an opportunity to develop a lightweight program that allowed us to do electronic recording of passenger counting and vehicle inspection. I introduced that to the bus system up at Utah State. They liked that idea. Eventually we were able to convince University of Utah to adopt it, then they wanted to add GPS. At that point in time, I decided that this was something to take a chance on and quit my day job and officially start Ride Systems. We merged with a company out of Indianapolis called Double Map, and then we were recently acquired by Ford Motor Company and have been since merged with another company they purchased, Transloc, out of North Carolina. One of the biggest successes with this acquisition from Ford is the people. The people here in Morgan, both from an employee standpoint and from a community support, the county, the city, the Chamber of Commerce, it is a group win. From our ability to support fantastic people and their families to what this does and the proportional impact to the greater county on keeping this here in Morgan, and ultimately just better life for people here and expanded opportunities.
Welcome back to the County Seat. We are in Morgan County today, and we are talking about the fact that Morgan County has been recognized as 5th in the nation, 1st in the state for new business growth and expansion. And those are prestigious awards, and we decided we'd come do a case study on how that exactly happened. Joining us for this block, Oliver Young, Young Automotive Group. You're the sales director, manager.
Yep, sales director.
Director.
For the Young Automotive Group.
What I'd like to try and demonstrate is how much impact businesses coming in and how much a fresh influx of ideas has on a community. How is the Young Automotive Group changed the business dynamic once you got them to land here?
Well, Young came in at the right time because the community, the chamber had started. The chamber was starting to grow. We were doing the Barre Program. We were getting out and visiting with individual businesses. When Young came in, it was critical because all of a sudden they gave the chamber a place to meet for the chamber meetings. They provided food for the meetings. They really provided a lot of excitement and incentive for the businesses to get involved together. They also provided training in those meetings as well as other training in the community. So their support for business in the community as well as community events just helped to accelerate that growth.
Oliver, what advantage is it to a group like Young Automotive to share their trade secrets of business growth with the other merchants, retailers, and businesses in the community? What do you get out of that?
It's actually one of our core values. We actually have all of our employees carry this card around, and one of them is called Engage and Support. So we engage and support the communities around us because we know that as we push forward companies and companies get better and employees get better, that it'll make the community and the economy of that area just continue to grow.
Andrew, do you look at businesses like his to try and set an example for some of the other businesses who are still learning their way about their community engagement and giving back?
Absolutely. And what Young did is there were a lot of experienced businesses here in Morgan. They gave those businesses a bigger platform too. Because they could unite with the chamber, there were very experienced businesses that did business nationally and internationally that really had attended trade shows all over the world. They had expertise that they didn't have a platform to share that expertise in. So with the chamber meetings at Young and with their involvement, those businesses all of a sudden could share their secrets to success.
Could you tell us a little bit about your test drive program?
Yeah, we have what's called Young Caring for Our Young. It's actually our initiative where we try to go out and we try to support the youth of our community. And Ford does a large program called the Ford Test Drive, where every time that we do an event at a school, every time somebody comes out and test drives, it earns money for that school. And that has raised thousands and thousands of dollars for the local schools here. And we love participating in Morgan County because of all the support and the help that we get here in the county from those that are involved.
Have you seen that this kind of behavior is contagious?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody gives back. The one thing we learn about working with the chamber and with Young's desire to give back to the community is that everybody has had that opportunity to give back something to the community.
And the reality is, we are the community. We live here, we work here, we're a part of it. So when we're giving back, we're really looking at, hey, we want to give back to our employees. We want to help our employees' kids succeed. And it's really a full circle that we just want to be a part and make a difference in the community where we serve.
So who are the big players in the community up here, that are working together to really lift this the sea level up here?
Okay, love to talk about that. First, there's Snow Basin, there's Browning. They've been here the longest. Also, Wholesome has been here quite a while. They've been providing a lot of support and strength individually to events in Morgan County and to businesses here. When Young came, they helped to accelerate that cooperation and support in the community because of their involvement. So the four players would be Snow Basin, Browning, Wholesome, and Young Automotive.
When you get businesses in the community that start doing things like the test drive program, giving back, getting really engaged, does that help your effort at recruiting new outside businesses to make Morgan County their home?
Absolutely.
How does that change the profile?
Well, it helps improve that enthusiasm. One of the questions in the Barre Program is, what do you think will happen? What is your feeling about the next 5 years or the future of economic development in Morgan County? That's one question that has dramatically improved over the last 4 or 5 years. Businesses are more optimistic now. The local economy has been good for some time, and what Young has done to that is just added another layer. They've helped to raise that level of the local economy.
Do those dollars come around? that you put out into the community, Oliver? Do they come back to you?
Absolutely, and we know that because as we get out and we serve and we help those, we see those same people in our service drives. We see them buying cars, and really that's why it's a full circle. It's how can we engage and support the community, because it's what our livelihoods depend on as well.
And I don't sense any competition in the area. I see cooperation, and businesses collaborating together because they know we can help each other improve.
Yeah, and like a good example is our training arm, our Center of Excellence, has come in and they've performed trainings and they've done different things. And again, that's all in an effort to collaborate and to make everybody better, because it just helps everybody improve.
Is it fun when you got a group of small businesses in there and all of a sudden you're providing some training and a little light bulb goes on? It's like,
awesome.
Ka-ching, I get it.
For sure. Yeah, it's wonderful.
We're going to take one more break here on the county seat. We'll come back from commercial break. First, we do want to introduce you to one more member of the community, Mauricio Valendez, who actually made a decision to bring his business and set up an international business here in Morgan County.
Like other travel agencies, we cater to a lot of different types of travel. We found a way to grow with being in a rural community, in a small location, to where we have a global reach. What's kept us here is when we do something for the community, whether we're heavily involved in the chamber or we're giving back to the school or anything like that, it feels like it goes a lot further. People can actually see more of what is being done, which is always great for a business, but as for all of us as employees, it's always cool to have that sense of belonging, not just where you work, but where your office is at and how people see your business in the community. The best way that I can explain it, it's very different. I've had businesses in other places, but you don't only get a sense of community just out and about because I live here, but your business, a lot of people wear their business on their shoulder as a sense of pride. We know that every time we hire somebody, those people are going to put dollars back into the local community simply because we're able to hire more people. We're able to grow as a business. We're able to reinvest back into our own community and thus make our businesses grow and have other businesses who want to come here for the opportunity to grow, but be in a beautiful location.
Welcome back to the county seat. We are finishing our dissecting of what's taking place in Morgan County to create all of this economic momentum so that other counties in the state might learn from it and apply it in their own environment. Joining us for the conversation is a real estate and land developer that has got kind of a unique story to tell, Ed Schultz, who is the managing director of the Wasatch Peaks Ranch. Most counties will have a council of governments meeting and they'll talk about all their problems and kind of relay issues of the economic picture throughout the county. You guys do it differently. How do you do that?
Well, we have a meeting every month called the Morgan Economic Development Partnership Meeting. It's chaired by Tina Cannon with the Morgan County Council. Involved in that meeting, of course, is the county, the city, the Davis or the Morgan School District, the Chamber of Commerce. So we've got businesses involved, the Business Resource Center, which we have representatives there representing education at Davis Tech, as well as the programs we offer at the Business Resource Center.
How does that change the dynamic? How does adding those additional partners change the dynamic of what takes place?
All of those partners have something to do with the community, and usually with businesses as well as residents. We review what's happening with businesses and what the needs of businesses are in the community and what each of us can do to help strengthen those businesses.
Do you find that conversation, that there are things when you attend one of those meetings that government faces that you don't think about being in the private sector and vice versa?
As more people get involved and collaborate, we can absolutely create a brighter future moving forward for sure.
We often get involved in projects in communities, particularly rural communities, and they think they got to have government help for growth. But that's why I want to talk to Ed, because you've done something a little bit different and allowed an economic opportunity that really is self-driving and not subsidy generated. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but I think people will get the general point. How hard is that to pull off? Tell us a little bit about your operation.
Well, we're building a private residential development with very aggressive recreational amenities. These include private skiing, golf course, sporting clays, and it's located right here in Morgan above the Peterson exit 96.
How is your development a little bit different than some of the others? How much of the underlying infrastructure is self-contained within your project and not farmed out?
100% of it. When we came in and looked at Morgan and looked at the available infrastructure and the dynamic in a rural community that's transitioning and with proximity here to the Wasatch Front, it was clear that for our concept, it was going to require us shouldering responsibilities for all of those components.
What are the advantages to doing that? Same would apply to you, Oliver. In your businesses, are there advantages to taking initiatives and doing things on your own as opposed to trying to rely on cities, counties, municipalities, and things to come to your aid?
You can move forward, and you can move forward a little quicker. I think that's one thing, but also you understand what your how to control your own destiny moving forward. So,
and that was an important part for us. The available sewer infrastructure, as an example, in Mountain Green and those areas, it's near capacity, and the future capacity that is there is allocated for other developments in and around the community that are on the books that have been approved for. So it would be either working with a municipality to expand those components, or really for us just to control our destiny. And it is a cost component to us. It would be more cost effective to work with the community for that, but with the risk of time, it was something that we determined that we would have to shoulder, and that if that worked in our plan, we would be able to move forward.
I want you all to take a minute and talk about where the horizon of this growth is, because most people look at things and say it has a beginning and end. It starts at a point, and you reach a goal, you reach a point, you say, we're here, we're delivered. Where do you see Morgan? The same question you asked the other people. Where do you see Morgan County
as
in
much
5 years?
progress as we've made right now, there are still not all the business engaged. There are still more businesses that can be engaged. We've had great events in Morgan County that the Chamber's been involved with and that other business partners have been involved with. Those can still grow and those can still accelerate. So I think in 5 years, I think we'll still be growing, but I don't think we will have reached the pinnacle to that growth.
You have all these businesses, and as it grows, what kind of impact do you have on the tax base?
with dealerships, I mean, dealerships provide a lot of taxes to the community because sales tax, as we sell cars, it means big money for local. For the local community in tax dollars, so it helps a ton.
So obviously you'll add to the tax base quite a bit, and maybe more in some cases if they're not primary residents.
Correct. We're forecasting more than 90% of the homes will be second homes or third homes, and then therefore not qualifying for the Utah homestead exemption. On top of that, again, we're carrying all of our costs for the infrastructure, so we think it will be extremely net additive to the community.
What kind of takeaways would you give for other communities? You know, there are going to be people in different counties. They're not all going to be right off the Wasatch Front, but they're going to be smaller counties like Morgan. And what are their opportunities? What should they be paying attention to what you guys have done here?
Well, one of the things I think they should look at is how the government as well as the local businesses work together. We make the Chamber that focal point. And so everything we do together, we try to work through the Chamber so that we can strengthen individual businesses.
Ed, could a project like yours really happen just about anywhere?
It's really the attributes of the land drive the opportunity for us in particular. This opportunity is unique in the country in that it was private property held for many years, both by the Barnes banking family and ultimately by some of the patriarchs in the ski industry, but it was never developed. And that private ownership from close to the valley bottom to the ridgeline really allowed for the uniqueness of this opportunity. And then there are huge bonuses in that there is the proximity to the Wasatch Front and the great attributes of Salt Lake and the greater Salt Lake MSA, but yet the feel of the mountain community that Morgan County encompasses.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I know we're excited. I know as more businesses come in and we have opportunities to serve, your patrons there. I mean, it's just so exciting when we all get to collaborate and come together because we can really help each other in a lot of different ways, and we'll all be better because of it.
Is there ever a community that won't be able to grow into a car dealership and having that amenity in their own community?
I really think a car dealership in a community helps a community a ton, because not only do people need transportation, but they need to be taken care of as well. So not only selling cars, but fixing them, but also that tax base. Cities that don't have car dealerships or communities that don't have them don't get that tax revenue, where if they drive somewhere else and purchase from another community, it doesn't stay there. It doesn't go back to their community. So that's why I think those car dealerships make such an important impact in communities.
Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Remember, this conversation is not over, and we encourage you to join us online and continue with your comments and your thoughts. Our social media is listed on the screen along with our website, and that will provide an opportunity for these folks and you to continue the conversation. Remember, local government is the most important government that you deal with. It's the one you interface with daily. It has the biggest impact on your life. So be part of the solution, be involved, and we'll see you next week on the County Seat.